Welcome back, Sebastian here. It's time for my review for Race 2 of the 2024 Berlin ePrix. Another exciting, another chaotic race. Very much the same peloton racing that we had in Race 1, despite the fact that it was 2 laps shorter. But nonetheless, I thought, a pretty decent race overall. So, Jake Dennis on pole, quite a surprise after Andretti locked out the last row in qualifying. Yesterday, of course, they all got bumped up because of the Rule's penalty, but still quite the turnaround for the Andretti team in qualifying. Cassidy, title leader, lined up alongside him in second. Van Dorn, who originally qualified 5th, was dropped down to 8th because the car was underweight during the duels, and Ticktum was given basically a grid penalty, a 40-place grid penalty, which then got converted. The remainder got converted into a stop-and-go penalty during the race. Cassidy, really good start, moved up into the lead as the lights go out. We had contact between Verline and Nato at turn 7, no damage done there. Lap 3, Cassidy starts the attack mode phase and drops down to P3. And drivers, they said this over the commentary, the drivers were driving in the 1-minute 12s, so about 10 seconds slower than they would drive in qualifying. So just to give an idea of how much energy saving they're doing during the early phase of the race. Lap 6, Dennis, Verline, and Cassidy will all finish their attack mode, and this was something that the virtual race engineer had predicted beforehand, so interesting to see they got that right. Really, attack mode, unfortunately, at this track this season has really been a detriment more than anything, and you really want to use it early when you can still overtake pretty easily, and cars are a lot more willing to give position up early in the race. Lap 9, Roland starts moving up the field, and at this point, despite another lackluster qualifying, starting around P15, P16, I believe, he was already up to P6 by this point. And everyone was on 76, 77% in the top 10, so not really anyone with a big advantage at this early stage. Lap 10, Mortara had contact with the Jaguar at turn 6. Looked like he got some front wing damage there, and it seemed like it gradually got worse as the race went along. Roland and Cassidy touch at turn 2. And then lap 11, we get a yellow flag because Max Günther, the German driver, unfortunately having a pretty torrid home weekend, was stopped at turn 2. Looked like he basically made contact with the car in front, which damaged the front wing. This car stopped, but he was able to get going, so the safety car was relatively brief. So he broke his front wing on the Andretti, but was able to get going. And then lap 14, safety car in, and we had a Porsche 1-2. Lap 16, Dennis and Evans were the best in the top 10 on energy with 66%. Lap 18, Roland, contact with another car, front wing became slightly dislodged. Lap 20, contact between Fenestraz and Van Dorn at turn 9. Van Dorn basically made contact with the back pretty hard, just misjudged the corner, hit the back pretty hard, and started to climbed over the back of Fenestraz's car, breaking his front wing. And that would force Van Dorn to pit the lap later. So unfortunately for Van Dorn, his lap was basically ruined at that point. We had contact between Verline and Dennis the same lap. Those two were quite feisty in this race. Lap 22, DaCosta, Dennis, Nato, best on energy at 49%. Lap 25, Fenestraz and Nato were in the wall at turn 3. Really silly move from Nato. I felt they had been basically racing side by side since turn 12 of the previous lap. And basically Nato just stuck it down the inside of turn 3, wasn't really spaced there, just came from very, very far back, wasn't fully alongside when the move happened, just clattered into the side of Fenestraz and put Fenestraz in the wall. Pretty silly move by Nato there, on a weekend where he had a really good qualifying and looked like he might have been able to get some solid points in the race. Really clumsy move there. Mortara at this point also fell down the order, so I think this is where his front wing the damage on his front wing must have gotten a bit worse. He basically just fell down to the back. Lap 27, the McLarens were best in the top 10 on energy, a bit of a surprise. Not really the most efficient car, but that being said, Roland's done very well in the factory Nissan, and yesterday in race 1, McLarens were not that great either. He was at 8th at this point, and Barnard in 10th, the youngster doing really, really well. The safety car was in lap 28 and lap 29. Verline and Dennis again have light contact at turn 2. Nato was given a 10-second time penalty for the move with finish rise, which I think is pretty fair. Dennis loses part of his front wing at turn 2. So yeah, that probably didn't help make the car any faster. Lap 34, Evans was leading with 5 laps to go. Barnard and Hughes both make a double overtake on Jake Dennis at turn 2. Seemed to be struggling a bit towards the end of the race. Lap 35, and that was on lap 35. 3 added laps were added at the end, which meant we would have 41 laps total. Lap 37, Hughes got front wing damage. You could see lots of smoke kind of coming up on the straights, and there was quite a gap between Barnard, who was P7, and Hughes, who was P8. So definitely lost his front wing in the melee at some point. Lap 37, DaCosta was leading, and Cassidy and Barnard were best on energy in the top 10 with 10% each. And that was on lap 39. Also lap 39, Costa starting to build a small gap, so really good positioning for him, putting himself in a great position to win the ePrix. Lap 40, Cassidy overtook Rowland for P2, so the second spot on the podium, and Evans made a mistake at turn 6 when it had a bit of a lockup, went a bit deep in that corner, and dropped down to P6 from P4 before that point. Final lap of the race, DaCosta takes the checkered flag. As of the recording of this video, he has not been disqualified yet. Really hope he is able to hold on to his first win of the year, obviously. And yeah, it's been a pretty tough year for DaCosta, but slowly starting to turn things around. Derivilla also good race, overtaking Barnard on that final lap to claim P7. So taking a look at your final result, DaCosta gets his first win of the season for him, and third win of the season for Porsche, and of course at their home race in Berlin. Second, Cassidy, 18 points, another really solid points haul for him. He's looking very comfortable atop top of the championship. Third was Rowland, 15 points for him. Fourth, Verline, 5th, Dennis, 6th, Evans, 7th, Derivilla, 8th, Barnard. Really good result for him in his third ever race in Formula E. 9th is Ericsson, so again, one of the super subs. Really good job getting points in the Envision. And then the final point was Jean-Eric Verne. 11th, Degrassi, 12th, Hughes, 13th, Sedikama, 14th, Aaron, 15th, Vanderlander, 16th, Mortara, 17th, Tictum, 18th, King, 19th, Nato, and 20th was Van Dorn. Your 2 DNFs were Fenestraz and Günther. Now, taking a look at the championship standings, I trust that, I hope I did the calculations right this time. Definitely a bit of an oopsie there yesterday. So first was Cassidy, 139 points, now 15 I believe, clear of Verline in second, so nice cushion for him there, but of course that can always go away very easily. Verline second, 124, and third is Rowland, 118. Then you have a bit of a gap back to Dennis on 99, so that's 40 points behind Cassidy with only 6 races left, so that's definitely a pretty massive jump to overcome. 5th is Evans on 97, 6th is Jeff 84, 7th Günther 65, 8th DaCosta 59, 9th Van Dorn on 43, 10th Byrne on 38, 11th Fenestraz on 26, Hughes in 12th on 25, 13th Nato on 24, 14th Fines on 21, 15th Bormi on 20, 16th Muller on 18, 17th Tictum on 12, that should not be a 12, that should be an 11. Can't make a board without making mistakes. So Sedikama is on 11. Derivilla moves up to 19th, 8 points for him. 20th was Mortara with 7, and then 21st is Barnard, now on 5 points. 22nd, Ericsson with 2, and then 23rd is Degrassi with 1. 24th is Vanderlander with 0, and 25th is Nick DeVries, 25th, and then 22 driver championship. 26, that will never not be funny. I don't know. I must be a terrible person. 26 is Jordan King on 0 points, and 27th is Paul Aaron on no points. So there you go. There's my review of the 2024 race 2 of the Berlin ePrix. Thanks for watching. Pretty enjoyable race, but yeah, very late at night here, so time for me to go to bed. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.